Is it good now? You happy? Did daddy fix your heart? Did mommy fix your heart?
Yeah.
And it feels good?
Yeah.
You're fast and free now?
Yeah.
You can stomp? You can dance? Alright, come give daddy a hug. Oh, here we go. Oh, you want to?
The night before my daughter was born, my wife decided to have an epidural done. And this was supposed to basically numb the bottom half of her body so she wouldn't feel so much pain during childbirth. She had been having some complications and we thought it was the right thing to do. So then the next day my daughter was born, and absolutely the most beautiful experience I've ever had in my entire life. And you know, shortly after that the doctors came in and they explained to us that my daughter was born with a hole in her heart. I can't get into all the details, but it went from being the most exciting moment in my life to being the scariest moment in my life. And he explained to me that we could take care of the problem, and more than likely it's not going to heal itself, and she'd have to undergo open heart surgery. And they said that the procedure itself is pretty common, but you know, no one in my family ever has ever had to go through something like that. Much less that I want a baby, a child that I just brought into this world, to have to go through something like that. So a week later, my wife had been having some pains in her head, and those pains, you know, they turned into migraines, and it got even worse than that. And one day right before we was going out, she had my daughter in her hands, and she put our daughter down and she said, you know, my head is really bothering me right now. And I said, let me go get you some medicine. And I walked out of the room, and then I heard her scream my name. And I came running into the room, and she was standing there frozen solid. And then she fell to the ground, and she started having a seizure. And her mouth turned purple. Her face turned white, and it was just crazy. She was shaking on the ground, and you know, right before she hit the floor, I caught her too. I caught her right before she hit the ground, and I laid her down, and I called the hospital up, and I called everyone, and I was the most frightening moment in my entire life. It really was. I've been through a lot, you know, went through the military. I served in the last war. Nothing comes close to that. Turns out she had a subdural hematoma, which is blood on the brain. You know, I thought I might have lost the mother of my child a week after my daughter's birth. On March 21st, 2012, that was the day of my daughter's surgery. And it was a day that we were trying to avoid for some reason, even though we knew the problem, the hole that was in her heart, would be patched. They would fix the issue. And a part of me wondered what I would do if I didn't have insurance, if I was, you know, not working at a job, if I didn't have the right insurance to handle that, because, you know, maybe I put all my eggs into one basket, and like some of these guys that are banking off of YouTube or something. I made a joke about that before, not having insurance on YouTube, but you know, my wife was extremely, you know, emotional about this whole situation. And when they brought my daughter in, it wasn't until the day of her surgery, to the moment they took her away from me, that I actually started to panic. started feeling a little afraid of what might happen. But you know, we have the best doctors in the world, and everything worked out great. She underwent open heart surgery, and you know, if she's got to live with a scar, her dad's got one too, you know, and so does her mother. That just makes her even more part of the family. The message I'm trying to convey to you guys is, during this whole time I was supposedly dealing with some YouTube beef. People were asking me why I don't respond and why, you know, I'm not saying anything back, and why I don't get involved in these type of scuffles over YouTube. The real reason is, there's a lot more important things in life than some BS over YouTube. It's your boy Shake. I'll holler at you dudes later.